Hey guys, welcome to the channel. So I'm out here today with the Honda CRF300L and I'm going to install a INNOVV K7 dash cam. Now, I have had a dash cam on this ever since I've owned it. I've actually had a ThinkWare M1. It's been really good, and I did put a INNOVV K7 like this on my Goldwing and I really liked it. So they wanted to send me another one to put on a 300L because that's what I ride the most. So I said, yes, we'll do it. I'm not getting paid anything. They just sent this to me to do an install video and review. But this is a cool camera. It really is. It's 2.2K on front and rear camera. It also has electronic image stabilization. It does have the GPS antenna on it. That way you can keep track of your speed because it will be on the video. So it also does have Wi-Fi that connects to your phone. It's 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz compatible. It does do loop recording, of course. So basically it records, and then once it fills up the SD card that you have in it, depending on the size you have in it, it starts overwriting the oldest files first. But it does have a emergency lock. And what that emergency lock does, you can push the button on the remote that goes up on your handlebar and it will save that into a file that will not be deleted in that loop recording. So it saves it and you won't lose that video if you ride for a long time and it starts overwriting the files. This one also is IP67 waterproof, so you don't have to worry about that. No problem with it getting wet. So we're going to take this out of the box, show you what's all in the box, and then we're going to put it on here. I just have to figure out exactly where I want to mount them. Probably where I had the ThinkWare that I had on here, where I had it mounted will be the same location. So let's get this started. Okay, so let's go ahead and unbox this. So as far as in the box, what we have here is the GPS antenna. This is the main DVR unit where your SD card goes, and that's where everything is recorded onto, which will mount under the seat somewhere. This is our remote control that goes up on your handlebar. And this is the button I was telling you about. You push this button and it records the emergency video and saves it in that file where it's locked. And then we have our front and rear cameras right here. And these are real small. So you can see if you compare one of the INNOVV cameras to the ThinkWare, this is a lot smaller unit than this big old thing. It's packed in foam, nice and neat to keep it protected. We have all of our wiring right here. You can see it's just bundled up all together in this carton that goes around the wires. Over here a couple boxes, and these are the mounts. There's different styles of mounts depending on what kind of mounting you're going to do. Then of course we have our instruction manual right here and a couple stickers. So it says mounts in this one, but it's actually the wires. This is your main wiring harness. So we'll have a power wire that goes to the battery all the time. We'll have a wire that you get to the key when you turn the power off and on. Then we have a ground wire, and that's how it connects to the DVR unit. So in this box is going to be our mounts and a microphone. You can actually put the microphone on there if you wanted to record audio. Wouldn't be a bad idea if you put it under the seat or something, just so if you get pulled over or whatever, maybe it would pick up the audio or whatever. Might be a good idea. We have some 3M double-sided adhesive tape here. We have lots of different mounts in here. Okay, let's get this installed. Okay, so pretty much I want to mount this DVR unit here under the seat somewhere. I had my other one mounted right here onto this fast lock, so hopefully I can mount it right in there. It's actually a lot smaller. And then of course our cameras will run the cables to them. We do have one with a short cable and one with a long cable. The long one will go to the front because it's the furthest away from the DVR unit. The short one will go on the rear. And then we got to run our handlebar remote, and we got to run our GPS unit right there. Okay, so as far as mounting the front one, I want to mount it on the front brake master cylinder. That's where I had the other camera mounted. It's a good, nice location because it's up high and works pretty good. It's been good for me for years, so I want to do this one the same way. And what we have is this little mount here that is an adhesive style mount. I actually trimmed it down. It was this big. So you trim down the side where it fits on the master cylinder. And I left this side on here. So pretty much what we got is this short bolt. We want to put a little Loctite on it. Some medium Loctite or thread locker, whatever you got, whatever you want to call it. And then we want to put this mount on here. So I want it mounted on here like so. Every bike, of course, is going to be a different way of mounting it, depending on how you want to do it. But this is the way I do it on mine. I want to get this pretty much straight, because once I stick this on, you could actually turn it, but the problem is your Allen is behind here. So you need to make sure that you get this where you want it before you put it on. You're not going to be able to turn it later after you stick it on. Not very easily. Okay, now my front camera, I want to mount it on there now so I can position everything straight. But this bracket actually goes over like this, and there is some of these little strips that you can put on the camera or on the mount, either way. Make sure where it tightens down nice and don't spin on this metal bracket. So we're going to put these right inside here, like so. And now we can put our camera on. We want the word INNOVV up. And I'm going to put this to the back of the camera, this bracket, so the camera will stick out a little further to get a better view, I believe. Like that. And then we take this thing here. We're going to mount it just like that with a couple of these short bolts. And we're going to put a little bit of Loctite on these also. I don't know if it calls for Loctite. I didn't look. But we're going to put it on there anyhow. Going to run this down where it's not totally tight, but a little bit snug. I'm going to try to go ahead and get it level. But we can move this. We can pivot it up and down. We can twist it. But we can't turn it this way because this is going to be under the and taped down where you can't get to it. So we're going to take and cut a piece of this to fit. Then we'll put this on the master cylinder so we can just stick it down when we're ready. Okay, as you can see, I got my 3M tape on here. I also have a piece of 3M tape here. This is just a little bracket that I made years ago out of aluminum, and it's to make a flat surface for the remote, the little control button, to sit right here. And it just goes over my bars right there. It's 3M taped on, and that way it has a flat surface to mount my remote. Just what I've used before, works good. So we got this on here. Make sure you clean this surface, all these surfaces first with alcohol so they'll be clean and it'll stick good. We just want to mount this right here. Just want to make sure it's straight first. Okay, so now I can peel this because I do have my bracket here made and lined up where it's going to be straightforward, and I have the bottom one tightened. I don't have these tightened yet till I get my up and down and rotation right. Push it down nice and solid. Then I can, when I have it hooked up and the camera is on, I can look at the video and make sure my rotation is correct and my angle that I want up and down. So I won't do that yet. So one thing I want to tell you is I did leave room so I could get to these screws, and that way I can take the cap off here to change my brake fluid or add some whatever. Now as far as routing this cable, I want to route this cable and this cable, but I want to route it down and follow the wire loom right here all the way down under the tank, all the way back to the battery. Okay, so now I've got my handlebar remote. I'm going to go ahead and stick it on here, and I did clean this surface with alcohol also. And I will route this cable the same place I routed this cable, down the wire loom all the way back toward the battery area. Okay, so as far as my GPS antenna, I believe right behind this number plate is going to be a good place to mount it. It'll be up where to get good reception. Some people mount these under the seat. I don't know if I'd recommend that because I wouldn't think it would get as good a reception. You know how GPS is, they need a clear view of the sky. So we're going to actually stick it right here, and I can run my cable down along with these same cables all the way back to the battery area. Just like that right there. And then we'll just undo the cable, run it in the same place. It's going to come in pretty handy that way. Okay, so as far as my rear camera, I actually want to run it under the fender, so I didn't mention, but you do need to probably take your rear fender off, your side panel, radiator shroud, and your seat, just to get it out of the way and make it a lot easier instead of fighting all that stuff. But I do have a notch in this plastic here, and that's so this cable will come out from under the fender and not be getting pinched on the fender right here. And then I'll just run it down with these wires back to the DVR unit. I want to leave a little slack here because this actually is going to mount on my cargo rack where I had it before. So I'll leave a little slack here. When I put my fender and stuff on, I'll be able to mount it on the cargo rack. Okay, so your TIFF card goes in here, or your micro SD card. It accepts from 8 gigabyte up to 512 gigabyte. I just have a 256 that I'm putting in there because that's what I got. Should be plenty. Just make sure you get this little rubber part back down in here because that's what actually keeps it watertight. And we're going to mount this right here. I'm going to go ahead and use Velcro. It just comes with double-sided tape. Also, another thing, this kit does not include any zip ties. I wish it did, because you're going to need zip ties to tie everything up. We'll mount this right there with some Velcro and then connect all of our cables. Make sure that it's down low enough here that your seat's not going to be hitting it. And the reason I'm using Velcro is I can remove this now if I need to take the TIFF card out. With it double-sided tape down, it'd be kind of hard to do that. So I wanted to make it easy to remove the TIFF card. So what we're going to do now is just hook everything up and test it before we get it totally installed, make sure everything is working. So what's cool about it is too, you can see that all these are color coded. So you really can't get them in the wrong spot other than your camera front and rear. And you just plug them in, hook it up, see if you're right, other than swap them. It's not a problem. We want to go ahead and connect all these. And these are watertight. It does come with a couple extra O-rings in case you happen to need them. And they are notched, so you can't really get them in the wrong spot either. Just turn them to the notch, matches up, and then put them on. This is our front camera. We'll just connect them. You can probably look at the instructions and it tells you which one's front and rear, but we're just going to connect them. And if I'm wrong, all I have to do is swap the two. This will be our rear. And for the heck of it, we'll just go ahead and hook the mic in here. Like I say, I don't know that you really need it. We're going to go ahead and connect it anyway. The mic is the real small connector, so we're going to go ahead and connect the mic in here anyway. As I said, I don't know if you'll need it. And then we have our power one, which is the blue. And it has a fuse for both lines, the switched power and the direct DC 12 volt power to the battery. Like that. So now we are all connected. We just need to connect our wire to our fuse, which is going to be this yellow one. Okay, so we're going to connect this wire to the fuse, and I'm going to connect it to this third one where I had it connected before. We're good. And I know that this is a switched power. So we want to put this in. We don't want it across them. We want it in with one of them. Kind of hard for you to see with my fingers in the way, but that's how you pretty much have to do it. And now we have our black and our red. We connect to the battery. Okay, so our black one will go right here. And our red one will go right here on the positive. Like so. Now we'll run all our wires neat. First, we want to make sure that everything is working properly. Okay, so you will want to go and download the INNOVV app. You see it right here. Download the INNOVV app. This actually has my Goldwing on it. My INNOVV K7 for the Goldwing. We're going to turn the key on. You notice our lights come on here. This is our Wi-Fi light, our GPS light, and our recording camera light. So we need to go in our Bluetooth setting here. Okay, click on INNOVV K7. The password is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you can probably change that if you'd like. I don't know. Okay, so now that we're connected, we can go on the app here, click on camera. It's recording, of course. We want to stop that. And there it shows our front and rear cameras. You see this is our front. And we can choose front to show on the display, turn it sideways and it'd be full screen. Or we can choose rear, shows the rear, which you can see it's not mounted in the right location yet. Or we can choose front and rear, and it shows them both on the display. Turn it like that. There's our front and rear. Okay, so as we back out of it, in the app here, We have our documents. This is where our recorded files, our camera files are going to be. Continuous videos, that's where the loop recording is all going to be inside there. And this is all of them. You can actually click on each one and download it if you want, delete it or whatever. It shows front and rear. If we want just the front videos, we can click on that, or just the rear videos. So the way this button works as far as saving the emergency file is you already got it started, it's recording. You want to save the file and have it locked in that folder. You can see this is on here. Push this button, and now you can see that start blinking like fast right there. Now you can see the little lock right up here. That means it's a locked file and it's going to record the locked file. Okay, back in our settings here, we can go to the settings button, and we have the name of the camera, the password, of course. What frequency we're on is 5 gigahertz. The resolution is 2K30. Bitrate is high, which is the best. 2K30. We can also change it to 1080p 30 electronic image stabilization or 1080p 60. I want it on 1080p 30 EIS. I think that's going to be the best. Image orientation, normal. Loop recording, you can change it from 1 minute to 3 minutes to 5 minutes, depending on what you want to do. I think we'll put it on 3-minute videos. And you can also change the mic volume. I'll put it on 3. You can put a watermark on there, date and time, if you want it on, or you can turn it off. Speed display, we want that on there. Units, we want to set that on miles per hour. GPS, turn it on. Watermark, you can leave it what you want, or you can change it. We'll change it to Woodzman. One thing you do want to do when you install it and install a new TIFF card is format the TIFF card to the unit. So go ahead and click on Format, then click OK. Now our format's complete. You can turn on parking monitor, the G sensor level, use accelerometer, a light source frequency. We want to put that on 60 hertz here. Update your time, clear the cache. Pretty much everything you need is right in here. Even shows you your firmware version and all that. Okay, so we got all that set up. Okay, now you can see the GPS showing that it's on, and our GPS is lit up here, so we're ready to go. So all we got to do now is finish mounting our cameras, tuck our wires away, and we'll be done with this. And we'll make a video, see how good it looks. Okay, I want to show you where I put my rear camera. I have the AXP Racing rack, and it worked pretty good. So I have this hole drilled right here through this thick plastic. Run the long bolt that's supplied with this to the bracket. And that thing is solid as a rock. Fits nicely. And I ran my wire through that little notch that I put in that plastic I showed you earlier. Under the fender, run it down the frame. My power wires are put right in here, right down in there and zip tied. Got this mounted nice and solid. As far as all the cabling for the cameras and GPS and remote, there's a perfect spot right in this pocket to where you have this plug. So there's plenty of room in there, a nice little pocket to hold all that stuff. Keep everything nice and clean. So I run it up the frame. And you can see I did go ahead and put the microphone on. I want to try to keep it dry as possible. Anyway, so I stuck it up under the gas tank here. It'd be covered by the seat, the gas tank, and the shroud. I did just clip it on here, run my wire back and connect it. I run my wires right up this big loom. It goes all the way up under the tank, under the frame here. I got it with the factory tie right there. You want to leave enough slack in your cabling so when you turn your bars, full lock both directions, that you're not stressing the cables, pulling them tight. Then they run on up to here, right here to the camera, and right here to the remote, right here to the GPS. So we should be a pretty good setup. We just need to go ahead and put my radiator shroud, side panel, seat back on, and I'm ready to take this thing for a ride. Okay guys, so that is the install of the INNOVV K7 dash cam on the Honda CRF300L. So super easy install. As you can see, the video looks good. So I'm pretty proud of it. I like the compact size of this. As I said, I am running it in 1080p with the EIS turned on, the electronic image stabilization. So really it's not a bad install. As you can see, it's not that, it's a little bit time consuming, but it's pretty simple, really pretty basic. Just follow my video. Thank you all for watching. I will post a link to this below in the description. Click that thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon. You'll be notified when I put out a new video. We'll catch you all on the next one. Right on.